I have a sandwich with French fries in it, or what you guys call chips. So there's nothing wrong with it.
Brian.
Yeah.
Why? I'm just interested. Why a sandwich shop?
Oh, there are many reasons. Number one, first and foremost, I've always loved sandwiches. I have some of my best food memories have to do with sandwiches. So, consider the context. I don't know if you could tell looking at me, but I'm Asian. So, so growing up, I ate Asian food. My mom's Korean, my father's Chinese. So we had one or the other 99% of the time. And on the odd occasion, we'd get fast food. On the odd occasion, we'd go to a steakhouse, but that was it. And my only exposure to Western food was at school and or when I would go with my father to work on Saturdays, and he would get for lunch one of three things: either Chinese takeout, pizza, or sandwiches. And the sandwiches by far were the most memorable. They were saucy and stacked with meat and cheese and, that thin shredded lettuce and the tomato. And as you would eat it, the fucking mayo would start dripping down your arm. I just have all these amazing memories of eating these sandwiches. And fast forward, I'm, into my chef career. COVID happens. I'm no longer employed by my employer. I'm kind of looking for a gig. And I hit up a friend of mine, and he asks me, I ask him like, hey, are you looking for a chef? He was looking for a private chef, and he, we were buddies. So he felt kind of weird having me work for him, so to speak. He's like, no, I'm not looking for a private chef. Wealthy individual, very good guy, great guy. And he's like, no, I'm not looking for a private chef. Okay. Right. We hang up the phone, and literally 5 minutes later, he shoots me a text. Hey, I don't know if this is too beneath you, but would you want to open up a sandwich shop with me? And my reply was, would I? So I not only do I have these memories of sandwiches from my childhood, but I actually filmed. It wasn't a TV pilot, because it never came out, but I filmed this video. This was before YouTube was big, but we're trying to pitch a show about myself making sandwiches.
That's great.
Because what I love about sandwiches is it's easily understood, and you put anything between two slices of bread, it automatically becomes a sandwich.
Yeah.
For me, that was very liberating because, coming from an Asian background and working in restaurants that were mostly Asian cuisine, I'm classically Western trained. I have a French and Italian cooking background. So it gave me the ability to do whatever I wanted without any explanation, right? I can just give you this sandwich and, it's a sandwich. Like, I don't have to think twice. But then I can go into the story. Oh, this is a Moroccan style lamb sandwich, or this is, this is a pernil sandwich, or whatever it is, or this is an Italian classic cold cut sandwich, whatever it is. But everyone understood a sandwich. And I went crazy during the pandemic, and we decided to move forward. I opened this sandwich shop, and it's been great, not only because, again, of everything I just told you, but sandwiches are mostly a lunch crowd. So I'm home in time for dinner.
That's such a great story of somebody that kind of wanted to feed that part of their childhood and was enabled to do it. And you have to just feel like that was always supposed to happen. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
It was never not going to happen, I've got to ask, though. Chinese parent, Korean parent.
Mm-hmm. They both hate each other, just so you know. They hate each other with a passion. No,
I've been to both places. But which culinary, because Korean food is very like cucina povera. It's very, they were starving for years, really difficult times. And so they had to find ways of preserving the food and all the different kimchis and everything, and make things last a long time, lots of soups and stews. Chinese food is a massive cultural, diverse, ethnic kinds of food. China's obviously massive. Food in one part of China is nothing like food in another part of China. But which which kind of food do you prefer, the Korean or the Chinese?
Well, you know, if I had to choose, if you were going to ask me what's my last meal going to be, it's going to be Korean food. It just, man, I can have Korean food 7 days a week.
I agree with you. And do you know why? I think it's because limitations force creativity. Just like in music, if I'm very lucky with my writing and it just flows and I don't have to think about it much. But if I ever come across there's a bit that I need and I can't quite find that part that flows naturally, I'll force a limitation. So I'll remove 2 strings, I'll tune one differently, I'll limit the number of notes I can use, and the more limitations I'm forced into, the more I have to find a creative solution. And I feel that Korea, good Korea, found that through the limitations of all the problems they had, that the food just got, listen, repressed places make great food. That's what it is.
I mean, come on, like with Korean food, there's so much flavor, and I guess you can say that about any cuisine, but as you were mentioning, there's a big culture of fermentation, but it's like meat and pickles. I mean, if you're really gonna boil it down, it's meat and pickles, and how can you go freaking wrong with the meat, pickles, and vegetables? Like,
it's interesting though, because all the fermentation doesn't just make it taste better, but it adds in all this stuff that you need. It's like they were finding a way around the scarcity to make the food more nutritious, but as a result, it made it more delicious.
Whether it was a happy accident or intentional, I'm going to lean towards it was a happy accident. They were just like, oh, I'm eating this today and I'm not dying tomorrow. Whatever the case was, man, it just, there's a simplicity to Korean food that I think, I don't know, just kind of strikes a chord with me. I love Chinese food as well, but it is far more diverse. And, if you ask me, do you want to have Chinese food? My question is going to be, well, what kind?
That's, I mean, I don't think, unless you're really into food, I think the average person thinks of Chinese food as probably fried rice, batter. They think of Korean, they think of Cantonese, American Chinese food. That's what they think of. They don't think of, the 50 different kinds of noodle variety, or the different soups, or the thousands of fish dishes cooked in alcohol, or it's just it's insane. In Korea, the 2 things that I just couldn't get on with and tried so hard were the cold noodles. What is that about? Cold noodles? I don't understand.
It's amazing. I feel bad for you. You're missing out, man.
I tried. I really tried. And then the other thing was the soft shell crabs that weren't really that soft, and they were just crunching them, and it was just.
Was it the marinated raw crabs?
Yeah.
No, I love both. I love both, man, with a passion.
Right. You're
all day long, every day, no problem.
I tried, and they brought a whole table out. And put that down, and it was covered in little dishes. This is the particular restaurant I'm thinking of. It was an amazing experience, but it was very much like, listen, I'm open-minded and I like all sorts of food, but I can't.
I want to kind of explain further for anyone who's watching who's not familiar with either of these dishes that Rob's talking about. So let's talk about the cold noodles. It's typically buckwheat noodles, different type of noodle than your average wheat noodle. Like, an Italian pasta will be a wheat noodle. So there's a textural component. The noodles are served in a cold broth, which is usually vinegary, salty, and a little bit of sweet. They'll usually put slices of fresh Korean pear in there, some vegetables and stuff like that. And, different regions will make it differently. Some people put like a little bit of wasabi in there. Some people put a little bit of chili paste. But overall, it's like this vinegary, slightly sweet, cold noodle dish. It's ingrained in the fabric of Korean culture, but I could definitely understand why some people can't take to it, because it's not what you associate with a noodle dish, particularly in the West.
Well, for me, it was a little bit exacerbated because they knew I was gluten intolerant, so they'd specifically taken me to get the buckwheat noodles because they're not gluten containing.
Right.
And it was super hot outside. They're like, "Oh, it's cold. It'll be good." I'm like, "I don't think it would." I just couldn't. I couldn't do it.
So was it a textural thing for you?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
There are some Asian dishes in particular that have a bit of a slimy thing, and I can't.
Yeah, it's got a little
like
bit
natto.
of a gelatinous thing going on for it for sure. And then the raw marinated crab, that I can totally understand. That's not everyone's cup of tea, but man, you know what? I want to go with you to eat Korean food because I'm eating your whole fucking noodles and I'm going to eat your fucking marinated crabs.
You
right?
You can have them, and I'll have all the bibimbap, all the American Army stew with the spam and stuff, and I love all that kind of stuff, man.